If you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Christine Campbell-Rappin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. Welcome to the inside, my friends. I'm super excited to have you here today because this single platform has had moments where it has pivoted my entire trajectory because of people who connected with me on it. Today, we're going to be talking about leveraging LinkedIn, which is the most successful business platform I personally use. And I'm bringing in an amazingly cool gentleman who I got to meet because we wanted to learn how to play more effectively on LinkedIn, who's going to help us figure out how we use LinkedIn to grow our audience and sell more effectively. Please give a very warm welcome to my friend, Ben Albert. Super excited to have you here today.
Excited to be here, Christine. Let's have some fun.
I know this is going to be such a cool conversation because you and I met on LinkedIn. But tell me, because I want to know if you're a dinosaur like me, how long have you been on LinkedIn and how important is this particular platform to you and your business?
Okay, so I started using LinkedIn again during the pandemic 2020. I can't recall when I had first started it, but I had signed on to my LinkedIn. It was some crappy headshot that I took selfie style when I was applying for jobs probably like 10 years prior. But I don't know if I'm ancient. I really just started recently using LinkedIn in 2020. And when I remembered LinkedIn from back in the day, I thought it was like a job board. I thought it was just a place where I posted my resume or maybe would look for jobs and recruiters. You know this, it's way more than that. It is one of the greatest social platforms I've ever been a part of, and I'm happy to be back 2020 to 2025 now going into.
I love that. It's so interesting. I do think a lot of people still have a perception that LinkedIn is about jobs. And to be fair, it is about creating opportunities. And for some, that means traditional employment. I have in my career, I am actually a dinosaur. I think LinkedIn even celebrated my 20th year on the
Wow.
platform. I think I have one of those originating numbers. I have found jobs in a traditional career environment on LinkedIn. But I will tell you, you're right. It is so much more. And for every business owner, I think this is a platform that you should start today if you're not already here. And you have a really unique way you look at LinkedIn because we know it's starting to get overrun with spammy, awful stuff, but you have a real different point of view. Why should we be on there and how do we create impact with
Well, we only have a short time here, Christine, but I mean, to
it?
get started, there's a lot of high net worth people there. There's a lot of professionals there. This is me just kind of complaining, but when I jump on Facebook, I see a lot of politics. When I jump on X, I see a lot of people bullying one another. When I jump on Instagram, everyone's prettier than me, everyone has a Lamborghini, and everyone's dancing on TikTok. So when I jump on LinkedIn, I have high net worth professionals that are into business growth, are into personal growth, are into networking and building relationships, and they're there with a positive mindset. There isn't the politics, there isn't the dancing, there isn't everybody trying to flex and pretend that they're cooler than me. And it's a great opportunity to meet these kind of people, extend your hand. It's a social platform, socialize, extend your hand and say hello. And what is the value of a relationship? No one can define it. I've met some of my best friends and my best clients simply because I put an arm out and said, hey, what's happening? Let's chat.
I love how simple that is. And it cannot be understated how important it is to initiate that relationships. I think one of the most important things to know about LinkedIn, and if you want to play successfully on this platform, is what does LinkedIn want? Because it doesn't want dancing. It doesn't want likes. It is really about an exchange of ideas. And so getting into conversation is how this platform will reward you. And it is as simple as the truth. Your business will be built on strangers reach out your hand and come start connecting to people. You talked about a unique concept called creation-driven networking. What does that mean?
Yeah, so think content and relationships. That's your car, content and relationships. That's what's going to drive your business growth, your relationship building, your creation of content. I say to create and network, content and network, collaborate and network. This is coming from Ben being a quieter kid, being a more introverted person. If I was the life of the party, which sometimes I was if I had one too many, but if I was naturally the most outgoing, the prettiest, the best energy giver. I'm just being transparent. I wasn't the most extroverted person at networking events and handing a lot of business cards and short, shallow conversation is something I was terrible at. So I wanted to find a way to network without feeling like I had to go to these big fancy mixer networking events with my elevator pitch. And I realized that I can create content, I can do content and relationships simultaneously. And I found this accidentally, Christine, because when I got let go, I was furloughed. I was a sales executive for a corporate marketing firm. I went from sales executive, 14th floor, to broke, pandemic, unemployed, confused. Got on LinkedIn. Like we said, I don't know how, when I had started, it had some old crappy picture. And I started a podcast because I had a music podcast prior. Music Ben was unemployed. Business Ben is starting a business podcast. And I called it Rochester, from Rochester, New York. It's now called Real Business Connections. But I called it Rochester Business Connections because I needed business connections. And when we talk about creation-driven networking, creating content, collaborating, and relationships simultaneously, that's all I was doing. I reached out. I didn't say this exactly, but this was the subtext. I've been in business for one day. I know nothing about running a business. I decided to start a marketing firm on my laptop, even though I really don't know what I'm doing. But you're a business owner. Congrats on making it big time. I want to highlight business leaders like yourself. And again, the subtext is you get to talk about yourself. I get to highlight you. I get to amplify you. And it is beautiful that I have a marketing background because I can do a good job at that. I don't know how to run a business yet, but I know how to market people. So
I can help you with that.
exactly. And when I I was like, I'm creating content and relationships simultaneously. So I didn't feel icky saying hello because I had something valuable to offer. It felt comfortable making content because it wasn't just Ben with a phone talking to a screen. It wasn't just Ben typing a blog wondering if the words was going to be right. It was Ben platforming other business professionals in my hometown. I learned from them. I built relationships with them, and I gained clients by creating content and relationships simultaneously. Yes, I use podcasting as a case study, but can you co-host an event with someone? People wonder why they can't get booked for events. Maybe you host your own event. If you want to seat at the
100%.
table, bring your own table. If you want to speak on the mic, bring your own mic. Host an event. Start a blog. If you're a graphic designer, find someone with great words and turn their words into quotes. If you're a photographer, do some photography for free to simply build the portfolio, get endorsements from that portfolio, use that relationship as leverage for more relationships. So instead of walking into a room with lots of business cards, a big vision, and a great elevator pitch, we can walk in the room being like, how can I create something unique with this person? The relationship will come on its own, and both of us will be beneficiaries of sharing audience and insights with each other. Just like you were on my podcast, Christine, just like we're doing together is exactly how it's done.
I think what's important when people recognize this platform of LinkedIn is, they've said it before, build your network before you need a network. Truthfully, there's going to be times when you want to leverage somebody else's knowledge, somebody else's access, somebody else's insights. But let's also be clear. The day you show up on social media, any social media, doesn't owe you anything. Okay? So don't go into it with the expectation of asking. What I love about what you're suggesting is find and ask others, what do you value about what I can contribute, and start contributing, and start inviting conversation and inviting exchange of ideas. Because as I said earlier, LinkedIn rewards that kinds of engagement. It is not a look at me, look at me, look at me. It is a conversation. And what is rewarded is value creation. And so remember, it does not owe you anything. And like anything else, you rent space on social media. Just this week, I've got a business colleague friend of mine who is in trouble because they have been hacked. And they're like, what do we want to do? And I said, fastest thing, get started building a new space. And he's like, seriously, can I get another answer? I'm like, you asked me what the fastest path to cash was. That's it. It's not trying to, again, borrow a future or say somebody owes you because of history. It's today I can make a difference. And you have a unique recommendation. We talk about it's not about likes. It isn't also just about followers. I mean, LinkedIn is changing some of its algorithms around that, but we see this inundation of AI commenting. I want to talk to you about your perspective of what makes effective commenting work to spark more value, to create more conversations, and yes, to open doors to opportunity. How do we do this better than the standard you might be experiencing?
Sure. Well, the fact you said AI commenting sent me through a loop because I'm actually not opposed to AI commenting if you've trained a chat GPT around your messaging, your words, your transcripts. Let's say you've been on 10 podcasts, feed it the 10 podcasts, feed it your book, feed it your ebooks. You can use AI commenting theoretically as long as you've
Agreed.
trained and prompted it to do it properly. The problem with the traditional AI comment is a lot of people are like, what did Ben just say? And they're just using ChatGPT or built-in AI functions that love LinkedIn to death. Their built-in AI functions are awful. And they're making posts that are generic. They're making comments that are ridiculous. Everybody seems to use the exact same emojis. I can smell an AI comment the moment I look at it. And it is actually the reason I'm not totally against it is I'm a fan of commenting on a lot of posts because the algorithm likes conversations and social networking, that if you're commenting and getting a lot of comments, and if people are clicking on your profile, you're going to come up on their feed. Commenting's good, but the problem is people aren't doing it the proper way, and they're spraying and praying. Really, the proper way to do anything on LinkedIn is the face-to-face test. Would I be comfortable doing this, looking Christine in her eyes? Is this a comfortable comment that would come out of my mouth? Or what if your comment looks like you sat down and wrote it down? Like, nobody does that in person. Your comment should sound exactly how you talk, as if we're talking face to face. Your cold messages and connection requests should sound like we're talking face to face. So when someone sends me a message, I see you're a podcast host. I am podcast Apple promoter. I can get, like, this is not how human beings talk to each other.
Thankfully. Let's remember that.
Thankfully. So I went on a rabbit hole because the AI is kind of like an ethical thing, because I think if you use AI properly, it's fantastic. But the issue with AI and the issue with automation and people just spraying and praying is they're burning their brand because they look like a robot, they sound like a robot, and they would never sound like that if you spoke to them. So imagine jumping on a call with someone and you've just been talking to their AI all day and they're not that human being. There's going to be misalignment. You're going to immediately not trust them. So don't be fake.
Don't be fake. That's really good advice across the board. And what's interesting is, again, think about what this platform wants. It's an exchange of ideas. So the more you aggregate and just regurgitate my idea does not add value to the conversation. I would rather you ask an insightful question, share a different perspective, give a different example. And really, in the world of relationships, volume is not the most important criteria. So do this intentionally. And if you are using an AI system, please invest the time to make sure it sounds like you, because the most important thing you bring to LinkedIn is you. It's your opinions, your look, and yes, your evolution. And that's the funniest thing about this platform, for having been on it so long. I said, I have people have seen me through all those things. And I've certainly had people say, I'd like you to take that down because it doesn't serve my agenda. And I said, I'm not here to serve your agenda. I'm here to bring myself to the table. And if you don't like it, move on. And there is so much value in thinking about what do you want to say. And that's both from a creation point of view, from a response point of view, and truthfully, please do both. Spend time in a dialogue. And yet, dialogue for the sake of dialogue is awesome. I mean, it's great. You can fill your whole day in dialogue for the sake of dialogue. But if we are looking at this from a business perspective and we're wanting to find ideal clients, partners, strategic opportunities, and we want to sell an idea, a concept, a program, a service, you got to get people to move. And so let's talk about using invitation to get people moving. How do we do this well?
Yeah.
Please.
Everyone seems to believe, and I love confidence, conviction is important, but everyone seems to believe they're the best things since sliced bread. And a lot of us are in industries that are possibly commodities. I have always wanted to make like broccoli that tastes like I'm drinking high C. Or if I can make a broccoli that tastes like an Oreo with no negative benefits, that's fantastic. We don't have the broccoli, the Oreo flavored broccoli. We're an advisor, we're a marketer, we're a coach, we're a consultant. There's similar people out there. But we have ourselves. We have our own differentiating ideas, our own differentiating opportunities. And this is why we started with creation driven networking and why LinkedIn couples so well. So we want to create content and relationships simultaneously. We want to collaborate and build a relationship. We can jump on LinkedIn and we think we're the best thing since sliced bread, but really all people want is little nibbles. So when we put a comment on their post, we're giving them a little nibble. When we post ourselves or a short reel, it's a tiny little nibble, but those nibbles add up. When we send someone a direct message and they already know who we are because they've connected with us, they've commented on ours, we've commented on theirs. Or for me, I kind of sometimes I have such valuable stuff. This is me being arrogant. I have such valuable stuff that I can go straight to the DM and people say yes to me, but you're giving them nibbles at a time. So you start a conversation, you build a relationship, you're conversational, you're real, you're raw, you're not fake. We already touched on this. And then you invite them to something that is super beneficial to them. Give you the easiest example that I'm doing right now. Mark Schaefer just spoke at my mastermind. It's a paid exclusive mastermind. People invest to be there. But when I have a speaker like Mark Schaefer, who's written 10 to 20 books, who wrote the book on community, who wrote the book on content, who keynotes at marketing conferences, even if a small intimate group is powerful, I want the largest audience as possible for Mark. I want Mark to think I'm cool. I want an audience there. It's an ask me anything. I want the hour to fly by because so many people have questions. So what I do is I go to Mark's page. I see everyone who's commenting on Mark's post, everyone who's resharing Mark's post. I can send them a connection request saying, hey, I saw you've been commenting on Mark's post. Friend of Mark is a friend of mine. Would love to connect. If they don't connect, no harm, no foul. Not everyone uses LinkedIn every day. If they do connect, I can send them an invitation like, hey, just as a heads up, next Tuesday, Mark is actually an exclusive speaker for my mastermind, Grow Getters Only. It's paid. I'm not asking for any money. I was curious if you wanted to be my guest because, as you know, Mark likes an audience, would love to have you there. I can send that message to 30 people, all of Mark's people. 10 of those people, for me actually it was about 12, but approximately 12 of those people say yes and actually attend. They share their email. We start a conversation. There's a mutual reason that we're talking. We both know and like Mark. They come to the event, and it's fair to assume they've walked in the door. They've experienced a session. We meet weekly. They met some of the members in the group. I've built a relationship with them. They might never become a member, but they might become a member. And it didn't cost me anything other than a couple messages and an invitation to bring them into my world. Now, you might not have this event. The person listening might not have this specific thing going on. But If we're networking and if we're value driven, we know someone who does. We can invite someone to be a part of something. We can invite someone to read something. We can give a free consultation call. We want to give something to them that they would have paid for, and they're like, holy crap, if Christine gives away this stuff for free, if Christine extends her arm and gives this much value to a stranger, I wonder what it's like to work with her.
I love planting that seed. And I have so many examples where I've seen that in chats, in events. And you're right. You said earlier, you could go create something. And that is a nearer opportunity than you are giving it credit for. And what I love about how you've explained this example is that it is about value creation and it provides context. Because here's also the thing. Not everybody lives and breathes LinkedIn like you and I do every single day. And I had somebody who I had coffee with this morning who I'm going to be sharing an opportunity and facilitating and emceeing an event for that she's a guest speaker at. We are connected first degree. And I had a conversation with her back in 2021. And I have that record in LinkedIn. I know where we initially connected. We've lost each other over the course of a couple of years. We're back in the same ecosystem. And this morning, it's like, I can see so many collaborative opportunities because what we do together makes a bigger impact. And that's the power that you are highly encouraging and inviting people to say, I could do that. You can do that, guys. I want you to be amplifying your message, finding other people, having something to say, and in extending your arm. That's how you will build. It's that simple. So let me ask you, Ben, I ask all my guests this. I want to know for you right now, what's working in your business to reach new audiences, to find new buyers, and to amplify your impact in the business world?
I give away a lot of what once would have been premium paid $97 a month content. I give away literally money that people paid thousands of dollars ago. Like 10 years ago, people would spend thousands of dollars for CDs, cassettes. I'm giving all of it away for free. All of it away for free. And if you really look at what's working in my business, I have very high ticket partnerships and solutions. So I give away all the low ticket stuff completely for free. I build relationships. I build a brand. I plant as many seeds and give away as many breadcrumbs as possible. Because then the right partner for a long-term relationship sees that. They don't have time to eat all the breadcrumbs. They don't have time to consume all the content. They want to pay for it. More reality is that they want someone just to do it for them. So,
or hold my hand because I can't eat. I'm overstuffed. And that's such a good analogy. I'm loving that. That's totally firing. My creative brain's like, I can like that a lot.
and just in like podcasting, you post a quick message. That's the smallest breadcrumb. You post a 60-second short. Then maybe you have a 4-minute short. Then you have the full episode. And then the full episode's for the nerdy people that are consuming it all. But what's crazy is the most successful people, I'm apparently not that person because I'm an information junkie. The most successful people have no freaking time to try to learn all this stuff on their own. So they see that you're sponsoring people. You do it for free. You give as much value. They don't have the time to attend. They're like, Ben, just take it over for me. And that's
Smart
what's working
strategy.
for me. Because what happens is all the people that can't afford it, they still get better. And they become the ambassadors that introduce me to people who can't afford it.
Smart strategy, guys. This is a good one. Please listen, learn, connect to us on LinkedIn. Ben, how do people find you?
LinkedIn's great. This podcast is kick butt, so click thumbs up, 5 stars, leave a review. Show some love for Christine. You can just type in the words real business connections where you found this or Google it. But again, LinkedIn, Real Business Connections, Google it. But only if you show some love for your girl first, because I wouldn't be here without Christine. So I appreciate you.
I love this. It's been such a fun conversation. I know it'll be the first of many. Guys, this has been about leveraging LinkedIn. In particular, we want to help you connect, create, build value, and invite people to move with you by spreading lots of breadcrumbs. Ben, thank you for being our guest, guys. This has been a great episode. We will see you on the next one. Until then, go amplify your marketing message. Your next client is looking for you. We'll see you on the inside. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell-Rappin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit christinecampbellrappin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.